everyone. We are live. Welcome back to the channel. This is Josh, your host, Grey Duck Customs. Just kind of finished up our retro chair with modern flare mold. It's kind of been turned into a little side project now. Got to do a little bit of wet sanding and polishing on that. And this is our new race project. So this is a dashboard for a very, very popular drift car. Some of you guys may recognize it. And what we're going to be doing on this dashboard is a little bit of custom work, and we're going to do the same thing as we did on the retro chair. We're going to make a mold, and we're going to be making some carbon fiber parts and some fiberglass race parts for the drift guys. And by drift guys, I mean 240 guys. Very specific Nissan 240 guys. So this is a pretty darn nice dashboard we're starting with. There's no major cracks or anything like that. There's a couple little blems kind of here and there, nothing crazy, nothing wild. The game plan is, I'll show you guys a little bit what's going on here. So the game plan is, this is going to be for race applications. So we don't need these vents. We're going to take the vents out. We're going to take all the hardware off the backside. I'm going to fill those vents and smooth them out. And once that's done, we're going to end up scuffing this whole dashboard up, putting a coat of primer on it, and sanding that to perfection so it won't have the texture that's currently on it. That's the game plan, at least. I did start just kind of hitting this with a little bit of sandpaper to see what it does. And I think this is, 80 grit sandpaper right now. And it looks kind of, sort of like it's biting. Let's see if we can hold on to the camera there for a second. Yeah, it's kind of sort of biting. So yeah, we're going to end up scuff coating the whole dashboard, and hopefully the primer sticks to it. I don't know if it's going to stick permanently or if it's going to be a temporary thing, but we'll find that out soon enough. First, I got to get those vents out and get that stuff filled before we go any further. For the defroster vent, I may leave the defroster vent open, just because I know that even with drift cars, sometimes they're drifting at night and in the mornings and stuff like that, and you might actually want a defroster hooked up on your race car. One significant change we're going to be making to the dashboard is we are going to be losing this center console area. So I'm going to bring the dashboard down to probably about here, and we're just going to restyle this whole bottom area so it's more of a, like I said, it's going to be more of a race dash than it is a street dash. So hopefully the 240 guys are going to appreciate that. I know there's a very large market of racers out there that are struggling to get replacement parts for their 240s. And we're going to try to tap into that just a little bit. So I think what I'm going to do is set the phone up here. And we're going to start with a little bit of vent disassembly. I don't think it should be too hard. I haven't really eyeballed this at all yet to know what we got going on, but it's a 240 dash, right? Like it can't be that hard. Let's take a look here. So on the back side, it looks like we literally have some Phillips head screws, some plastic clippy clips. So we're gonna very, very brittle plastic. I already snapped 2 of these clips. Didn't even try, and we already broke 2 of them. Woo! Good thing we're not reusing that, but there we go. One dashboard vent out. We're just going to set that aside on the floor for right now because we don't need it. Get ourselves a Phillips bit, I think is what we're after, and I think I had one sitting right on the table here. Of course it's missing. I try to be ready for these lives, and sometimes I'm not. Hello, everybody in the chat. We are starting off a new race car project. This is a Nissan 240 dashboard. And this is going to be slightly customized, and then we are going to make some carbon fiber and fiberglass replacements. Specifically designed for the drifter guys. So I don't need that vent. I'm going to put the screws back in place here. Just so we don't lose them, because I don't need extra hardware floating around the shop. Where else do we got? We got one over here. This is very much the very beginning of this project. You guys are getting a first look. I know it's not super fun and exciting yet, but don't worry, we'll get there. We'll get there. These projects are not a do them all in one day kind of thing. This is typically a multi-stage kind of deal, so we just chip away and we hit some low-hanging fruit initially. Come on, Ben. Kind of hanging up on this one. Okay. I guess that's how that one's coming out. This plastic is so brittle. And I am not being very cautious with this, so I apologize to the car gods. But it's for a bigger purpose. That's all that matters. Get our dashboard switch harness out of here. Little wire snippers here. Snip. Don't need that. So yeah, like I said, I think I'm going to end up keeping, hey, in the chat, Mr. Brian Connell, Bone Shaker Master Hobbyist. So yeah, I think I'm going to end up keeping the dashboard vent here just because if somebody wants to hook up a defroster vent, they could use the OEM defroster vent. I'm going to get some Masonite and I'm going to fill the back sides of these vents just with some hot glue. So I'll get my hot glue gun out here, fancy dancy hot glue gun. I try to use the same tools that all you guys use at home. I'm not doing anything crazy. There's nothing you can't do yourself that I'm doing. Just you have to want to do it. And a lot of people don't like to do that work. So, right out of the gate, we are going to plug in our hot glue gun. I'll make a couple quick wood templates of those vent holes and just cover them up from the backside. And by doing that, I'm going to be able to slap Bondo. I'm going to be able to slap Bondo in on the front side of that then. Sorry, I got a couple different tables set up here right now. I know it's a little bit of a mess, but what do we want to use for this? Masonite probably? See if I got some 1/8 inch Masonite laying around here. I can use hardwood, I can use anything, it doesn't really matter. Cardwood. I've got some scrap wood from our chair flanges. I think I'm just going to use that. Yeah, I should be able to reuse this. And because we have a template here, I'm going to basically just set the template on, trace out a quick pattern. Let's see which one is which again. Yep, so that's that side. Let me grab a writing utensil. I don't think I have a Sharpie out right now. Yes, I do. Sharpie Central. So, let's just do this. I'm going to take our one vent and just do a quick Sharpie profile around there. That's where we're going to glue. And we'll take our other vent and just go right next to it. We'll cut both of these at the same time. Very low tech here at this stage. Not doing anything fancy. Just making some block off plates. Fancy dancy, well-used Bosch jigsaw. If you guys can find one of these used at a pawn shop, I highly recommend getting the older style. They actually work better than the newer style ones do. That's just my 2 cents, but I am old-fashioned when it comes to those kind of things. When I've been using the same tool for 20 years, I like to keep using that tool, you know. There we go. Let's see how I did here. Yep, that'll work perfect. Perfect. And then I don't think I need block off plates yet for the main vents there. They're a little bit deeper than I want to make vent covers for. So we're just going to start with those. We're just going to start with these little guys here first. See if our hot glue gun is working yet. Usually it takes a few minutes for the hot glue gun to fire up. Some of the more industrial hot glue guns go a little bit faster. Currently, that's what I'm rocking with, so we just use our basic hot glue gun. It's all fine. And then yeah, once I get these hot glued in place, I'm going to flip this over and then mix up some Bondo here and kind of do a compatibility test to see what actually sticks to that OEM vinyl wrap. It's going to be kind of a mystery to me right now. I can tell it's probably had some armor all on it over the years because it's very, very, very slippery. And that's going to be trouble for anything that we're going to try to get to stick to there. But yeah, well, I mean, we'll make it work. We'll make it work. It'll be fine one way or the other. Be fine one way or the other. Come on, hot glue gun, get going. Oh, she's almost getting there. A couple more minutes. I want it to go a little bit faster than that, so I could show you guys the retro chair mold here quick while we're waiting for that to heat up. So check this beauty out, huh? Really nice looking mold. Super excited to start running parts on this. I've just got a little bit of wet sanding to do on that, a little bit of polishing work to do on that, and then we'll start making some carbon fiber chairs. So stay tuned for that one, because that's going to be pretty exciting. The one thing I do have to say about these little hot glue guns is they are nowhere near as efficient as some of the big industrial ones. If I was doing any more hot gluing, I would want a big boy hot glue gun. But for how often I hot glue stuff, it's just fine. And again, this is just to keep from Bondo from running out underneath the backside of this. So this isn't going to be structural or anything like that. It's not a big deal. It's just a matter of getting the backsides of this filled. Sometimes guys will use like aluminum foil tape. I find that doesn't really stick to the dashboard vinyl very well, so we try not to do that. See how this one fits in here. That fits pretty close. Close enough for government work. I wish I had some shop music playing for you guys. I feel bad about the how quiet this is while we're working on this. So if I put shop music on though, it's gonna get a copyright strike and it's gonna get removed. So we can't do that. So this market has been a market that I've been wanting to get into for a while. This project has taken a couple of years to get an actual good dashboard. It's something I've been kind of talking to one of the local racer guys here in Minnesota about, and he finally got a good dashboard, and we're finally going to get going on it. So we did not want to start with a dashboard that wasn't really clean, and he found a really good example. So this thing's going to get sacrificed to the race car gods, and it's going to be part of a bigger purpose for other racers. And that's just kind of how it goes sometimes. Come on, keep getting there. Yeah, I might need to invest in a new hot glue gun. This thing is just too slow. It's been on my list of tool upgrades, but we make do the best we can. with what we got, right? Set that on the bench there. Okay, so I think those are tacked in place if they're not going to go anywhere. So now comes the fun time. We're going to get some Bondo, and I'm going to do a, if I put a dot of hot glue on the stick, I can, oh, look at that. Thanks for the tip, Brian. If I put a dot of hot glue on the front of the stick. Okay, so I'll show you guys what he's talking about here. So, shop trick, huh? So if we put a dab of hot glue on the front of that hot glue stick, we can actually stick it to the rear of the stick and keep pushing instead of forcing it through. That's a good trick, Brian. Really good trick. See, things you learn in the group chat here, huh? I like that trick. I like that trick a lot. Bondo. Bondo. So for Bondo today, I'm going to be using our fantastic body filler available from O'Reilly's Auto Parts. This stuff is about 35 bucks a gallon. So it's about the most affordable, good body filler you can buy. It works way better than the Bondo brand stuff. Or the 3M brand stuff. Trust me on that one. Just take my word for it. It's worth buying. I go through a lot of this stuff. And I've found some very, very, very crappy body fillers that cost way too much. So I should show you guys already what I did do on this dashboard to start out with. Is I did scuff up the area that I'm going to body fill. And that's just with 80 grit right now. So I'm just going to mix up some Bondo, throw it in the gap there and just kind of smooth that out. At least the best I can. Once I get that gap filled, that gap filled, that gap filled, that gap filled, that gap filled. Once I get all those filled up, I'm going to try to put a surface coat over the entire dashboard. And again, once I get this reshaped so it's so it doesn't have a center console area, but once I get those gaps filled, we're gonna scuff up all the stock vinyl and see if we can put a top coat on the whole thing. And hopefully the top coat doesn't stick or doesn't release. I want it to stick. Hopefully the top coat sticks really, really, really well, because the last thing I want is for it to release. But I don't know. We're gonna be rolling dice on that one. Like I said, we're going to kind of wing this a little bit here to get going. And then once we figure out what actually sticks to this vinyl and what doesn't, we'll make better decisions down the road here. How much Bondo am I going to mix up here? A couple scoops should be sufficient for what we're working with here. I can always add more later if it's a little bit low, not a big deal. Get the appropriate eyeball amount of hardener up. And I'm not going to be too picky about this. I'm just going to send it. not even going to use a Bondo spreader, I don't think. I think I'm just going to plop this in there and call it good. Figure out how to sand it later, not a big deal. Just like so. I think I might even have enough for the other side. Like I said, I'm not going to use a Bondo spreader. I'm just using the stick as a Bondo spreader, so that's all good. I don't want to get too overzealous and do too much fill work. Let me grab some of that 80 grit sandpaper, prep that other side real quick here. That should be fine. Good enough for the kind of girls I go out with, at least. You can tell them I said that. I think I am going to, just for test purposes, I'm going to throw a little bit of Bondo right on the face of that there, just to see what happens. We'll do a quick compatibility test. Once the Bondo cures up, we should be able to see if that actually sticks or not. So this was mixed pretty aggressively, so it should go off in a few minutes here. Good enough to do a quick surface sample test. What I should get are some of those Ray-Ban Meta glasses. That way I can do first person how-tos for you guys. That would be a fun thing to do. Yeah, I mean, let's see what happens if we hit this with a grinder. Got some, what is that, 36 grit on there right now? Let's just see what happens with the stock vinyl. Oh, I can smell it getting hot. Very, 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 very light pressure. Try some Dawn Power Wash on that dash. I've got a better solution, Brian. I've got acetone. And not just store-bought acetone. I have industrial grade acetone. So, it's going to be kind of a sand it, scuff it, smooth it. The acetone might actually soften the plastic a little bit. We'll see what happens. Wipe our gritty areas away there. Maybe I can do a quick little sample where I did the acetone wipe too. We'll just see if one of these sticks better than the other one. I don't think it's going to make a difference, but for testing purposes, why not, right? Why not? Oh, it does have a crack in it. Oh, there's one crack running down the dashboard. Oh, that's okay. No big deal. That's why we're fixing it before we do anything to it. Still, I don't see 240 dashboards that are in this good a shape very often. Most times there's a lot of cracks around these things just because of the age of these. So I am happy to have this as a starting point. It's a lot better than the alternative of having a completely messed up dashboard. I'm sure 240 guys are gonna be like, oh no, you shouldn't do that. Well, guess what? We're gonna make something way cooler than you guys even know about, so. You can see the color difference from some of the prep area and not prepped area. And just out of curiosity, let's do a tape compatibility test here. It's just a grease remover. I use it on your clothes for grease stains. I use Super Clean. Have you ever used that? Super Clean is a fantastic detergent as well. So our tape test is pretty standard when you're doing fiberglass molds that have wax on them to see if the tape is going to stick or not. I would say that means it's biting pretty good. The tape is definitely not releasing off. It's not peeling. I would call that stuck. I think there's a very, very high probability that we're going to have good luck with Bondo and body filler and spray primer and all that kind of fun jazz on this. So I'm excited about that because that makes my job a lot easier, as in a lot easier. I'm going to break out the big sanding gun. Got a Milwaukee M12 6-inch DA. This thing has been a huge improvement over air sanders, so my compressor doesn't run all the time. This is a $300 sander, which might be out of the budget for some of you guys, but this thing is butter. So good investment. I prefer to use the Velcro hook and loops compared to sticky sandpaper. Give it a good slap for good measure. And I better check to see, that's still not going off yet. We're just going to have to wait a few more minutes. I thought I put enough hardener in there that it'd be going off by now. That's okay though. I'm not in any rush. Sorry guys. That's what you get when you get alive with me. Sometimes you get a lot of cool information and sometimes it's just a circus show. And right now it's a little bit of a circus show, but like I said, this is just the kickoff to the project. We're just kind of messing around, showing you guys what we got coming up. I'm not getting super crazy serious here yet, so I will definitely bring you guys along for the trip once we start doing the body work on this for a serious level. Once I start modifying that center console area, I'm going to show you guys all the tricks of the trade here. So if you try to watch my stories, sorry, my shorts on YouTube, I guess. I do post a lot of shorts on YouTube. I don't post a lot of edited videos. I want to be very, very raw and authentic when I do this. I don't want to edit anything. I don't want to hide any secrets. I don't want to gatekeep. So I understand that watching these live videos is a little bit of a pain in the butt. It's not as easy as watching, let's just say a regular full-length video, but doing them live, that's where you're going to learn the secrets. You're going to learn the tricks. For the people paying attention, live videos are where we're going to learn the tricks. And I'm still tacky, guys. I'm sorry. I should have put in more harder in that Bondo. It's okay. It's okay. See if I can wipe this around here. I suppose I could cut a little piece, try to jam it in here, backfill that too while we're at it. I don't know. Let me see here. So this is our dashboard shape. That goes in there pretty okay. I could just make a quick template, hot glue it from the front side and fill that too while we're at it. Yeah, I'm not going to feel bad about that. Let's try that. And that's not going to be enough. Let's see if I got another scrap around here we can use. There we go. That's a pretty good scrap right there. Yep, perfect. Perfect. Like I said, uncensored, raw, in the shop. Not exactly the straightest line I've ever drawn, but that's okay. Okay, that wasn't too bad for eyeballing it up, right? Take a couple corners out here. Ha! Just like downtown Julie Brown. That's going to work just fine. Grab the hot glue stick here. Hold that in place temporarily. If you do have access to an air compressor, you can blow on the hot glue. That will accelerate the curing time very, very, very much. It's starting to go off now. We're getting there. We're getting there. Okay. And while we're at it, I'm going to mix up another chunk of Bondo here. Don't need that vent. Yep, we're getting super high tech on the start of this, huh? Some scrap wood and some Bondo. I think we need a little bit more. Try to kick this one off a little bit more than the first couple goes there. For doing general fab stuff, I do not mix my Bondo catalyst at all. I just squeeze on a bunch. By no means does it need to be precise. It's going to go off. It's just a matter of work time. So the more catalyst you have, the faster it's going to go off. Technically, it's going to shrink a little bit more the more hardener you put in it too, but for what we're doing, it doesn't matter. Not at this stage at least. Right now it's just an art project. Call that robin's egg blue. This might be a two-stage Bondo fill. I don't know if I quite have enough. We'll see. Gonna be close. Let me grab a fresh paint stick here. We'll just use this as a Bondo spreader. See if I can get a nope, it's gonna be a little low. That's okay. No big deal. I went offline for just a second. Sorry about that, guys. Hopefully I didn't lose too many people there. So I think what I'm going to end up doing here is getting a razor blade. And I'm going to try to peel off that Bondo. I might use a screwdriver also to help pry it off. But I want to see how much that Bondo actually sticks to that dashboard vinyl. So we'll try to catch an edge here. I would call that a pretty good stick. I mean, it does pop off a little bit, but it requires pretty good effort. I would call that all right. Let's try this one. I wouldn't call that too bad. I would call that stuck. I would call that stuck enough for what we're doing. Let's hit it with a sander and see what happens. So that should be okay. I mean, if worst case comes to worst case, I can totally just Bondo fill the whole dashboard once I sand and prep it, and that should be totally acceptable, I would think. And again, we're not building spaceships here, we're building race cars, so. I think that's gonna work great. A quick little skim coat to that, and that vent is filled. Now, one thing I am trying to do here is I do not want to sand through the vinyl. So when I'm doing my spot repair around all these vent holes, I'm going to try to stop at the vinyl just so I don't burn through that. Not that it can't be repaired, but that's kind of the stopping point for where we want to go. So once the sandpaper starts hitting that vinyl, we stop. Right now I've got 40 grit on there, so it's pretty aggressive. I love this sander. I cannot tell you guys how much I love this sander. It's been it's been a game changer since I picked that thing up. I'm gonna do a little bit of spot repair on these outside vents here. That center one's a little low, so we're gonna add some filler to that real quick. Yeah, we're getting there. And once I add that filler, I might just hop off live. I mean, unless you guys want me to keep going. I know this is kind of, like I said, just the very beginning stages of the dashboard project. And, there's only gonna be so much work I can do every single day on this and keep you guys here for a live. So maybe I'll mix up some Bondo, smooth it out a little bit, and then catch you guys a little later maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I just know that there aren't too many people watching hour-long live videos, you know what I mean? I'll give you guys a little bit of a taste of what's going on. Show you the real world of the composite shop, and then hopefully I drop enough knowledge that you guys are picking up tricks along the way. I'm almost out of body filler too, so I'm not going to go too much further today, but how much filler are we going to mix up? A little bit more. I got a fun little story. Many years ago, I was working at a composite shop, And, you know, we're just doing warehouse work, right? Putting rolls of carbon fiber and mixing resin and stuff like that. And we had a customer who was collecting Bondo cans that had a little bit of Bondo in them. And he was actually building a Porsche 917 replica in his garage. And he was trying to do it for as free as he could. So he was trying to get free materials anywhere he possibly could. And he was doing a really, really, really good job. He would collect Bondo cans and get as far as he could, and then scrape them all and get all the little last bits out of it, and then he'd wait till he found more Bondo cans. It was just wild. I don't know if he ever got the car done or not. I would like to think that he did, but that is unconfirmed. Boy, that was a long time ago thinking about it. I know all too well the struggle of trying to build your own car by yourself in a small garage. And it's very, very, very much fun. If you guys have the ambition to build your own car, do it. It's 1,000% rewarding. But it's a very, very humbling experience when you keep buying things left and right and left and right and over, and it never stops for a minute. So whatever you think your budget is, just double it, because that's probably going to be closer to what it comes out to be. This one I am using a Bondo spreader on, just because it was available. That one's got some chunks on it, so I'm going to get a razor blade quick here and just scrape that off. Sometimes I'll reuse the Bondo spreaders, sometimes I won't. It all depends on if I get them clean or not before they start going off. You can see we got some racing stripes down that Bondo. That's no big deal. There we go. Now I'm just going to load this on pretty significantly. Want to make sure I got plenty of filler to sand off on this one. I'm not mixing I mean, whatever. I'll mix it a third time if I have to. It's no big deal, right? But we're gonna try not to. Give it the big E for effort. There we go. Okay, guys. We're sitting at an hour on the money right now. So we have Bondo curing on one pocket being filled, Bondo curing on another pocket being filled, and Bondo being cured on the last pocket being filled. So that is going to be it for my dashboard kickoff live video. Stay tuned. This is just going to get cooler and cooler. More of this kind of work coming up. A lot of prep work. Like I said, I am going to be modifying the center console area and cutting that down and doing some custom work there. So I'll bring you guys along for the trip, and turn your notifications on, like, share, subscribe, do all that kind of fun jazz. If you're on Instagram, I go by Grey Duck Customs over there as well. I do not have a TikTok. I do not have a Facebook. So Instagram and YouTube is what you guys get if you like this kind of fab work. Stay tuned and keep watching. So anyway, I'm going to hop off live. Thank you guys for all stopping by. I will keep you up to date with our race car dashboard project, and keep rocking, keep rolling, right? Catch you guys later.